Yeah.
All right, let's get moving. Everything is ready to go.
All right. Welcome to the week 2 Cannabinoid Media Podcast.
Podcast, yeah. That's actually, I think Anthony wants credit for that. Like he wants to trademark that or something.
Except for there's already like 30 podcasts, and
Yeah.
that's the genre.
I was gonna say, I'm sure someone else has already thought of that. He's like, yeah, dude, I totally came up with that, which is cool. He didn't know. He's not a podcast guy. He just thought he was being clever.
It's one of those things, you know.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, what kind of feedback did you get? A couple people listened to last week's, and they said it was somewhat enjoyable. So I think we did all right. Maybe, I don't want to get a big head or anything, but I think we have something we can run with here.
If you have feedback, I'm sure you could send an email to, what would be the email? We can make one like
cannabinoid.media@gmail.com. Cannabinoid.media@gmail.com. Let's get some more volume out of here.
If you don't know how to spell cannabinoid, just Google it, because I don't either.
I actually, funny story, when I bought the domain for cannabinoid.media, I bought the wrong domain. I spelled it wrong. So.
Oh, no shit. I had no idea.
Yeah, it's cannabinoid. So cannabinoid, like Osama bin Laden. It's cannabinoid.
And that's how we want to associate marijuana with terrorism.
Just the bin part is because what I did was I think I bought like canni, like CANNI. BANOID or something.
And that's the medical part of marijuana, right?
Well, the cannabinoids are the cells that basically...
Oh, the receptors. But not THC receptors. It's
No. Well, THC is the active ingredient that actually gets you high, but cannabinoid itself... I mean, that's a good question. As far as I know, it's just like the cells that compose cannabis, right? Or it's the base cell. A cannabinoid is... any form of cannabis, basically, whether it's a sativa, what's the other one? Indica.
It's also the name of a news site.
Yeah, good point. But now you got me curious. Like, what is the dictionary definition of cannabinoid?
It's a weirdly scientific word.
There you go. Any group of closely related compounds that include cannabinol and the active constituents of cannabis.
Aha.
Cannabinoids are a class of diverse chemical compounds that act on cannabinoid receptors in cells that repress neurotransmitter release in the brain. So it's easy shit, guys. You should know this.
Neurotransmitter release.
Yeah.
Come on.
All you neuroscience majors out there listening to our podcast, come on, educate us here. So, what's our first topic? We gotta get this show on the road. We're kind of off to a sluggish start here, I think.
So, first topic on the show notes is next states to legalize.
Next states to legalize. So, that's actually interesting because I saw a correlation today, because today is Super Tuesday, right?
Yeah, right.
So everyone's voting in the Republican, Democratic. Everyone's running out to vote for Donald Trump today, and
desperately trying to make America great again.
Yes, everyone's got their baseball caps, getting ready to make America great again. So anyway, the point I was getting to is I was looking at like I think it was Bing and I'm not. This isn't a sponsored mention or anything, but. I think it was Bing that sent us like a little spam email that was like, hey, today's Super Tuesday, check out our results or whatever. And I was kind of looking at them, and what I thought was interesting is they had Hillary winning pretty much all the states on the Democratic side. But it looked to me like the states from this article next to legalize marijuana were all the states that were going to go for Bernie Sanders.
Interesting.
Like almost to the T. Like, well... Not necessarily, like obviously Nevada didn't, but like Vermont, Minnesota, Connecticut.
We should probably step back and actually just go down the list.
Name them, the list, okay. Yeah, Massachusetts is the first one, which also they elected Elizabeth Warren, who a lot of people like me wanted to run for president, and Bernie Sanders is probably her closest kin. So, yeah, Massachusetts seems like a no-brainer for that.
That's not the first one that I would jump to.
No?
I mean, I would assume that California would go recreational first.
Yeah, we thought that too, but we had an opportunity to back in like 2013, I think, and it got voted down. I think we talked about this before, though, because it was on a midterm ballot. Young people don't vote in midterms. They only vote in the presidential election. It's all old people and Republicans.
That's true. All right,
The
so
people who are the most mad and want to, like, you know...
number 2 with
reprimand
Nevada, which makes sense to me. It's next to California. I know a lot of people in Nevada
You're from
who
Nevada,
went over.
right?
Yeah,
originally?
yeah.
Well, you did know that, like, Vegas used to be one of the harshest, like, drug law places, right? Because of the fucking legalized prostitution and gambling and alcohol. They're like, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's weird to me that they make so much money off of vices, but this one specific vice is absolutely illegal.
Because it's one that the people who run Vegas didn't have taps on.
Yeah, I don't know
You know what
about
I'm
that.
I mean, that's the mentality. That's the conspiracy theory, right? That the mafia runs Vegas and they had the alcohol. You know, they run the fucking distilleries and shit, and it all stems from prohibition.
I don't know if we need to jump to a conspiracy
This is a
after.
goddamn cannabis podcast. Everything's a conspiracy here. What are you talking about?
we could try to be logical half the time, the other half the time we could go to a conspiracy.
No, hey, there is actual logic to that, because just because it's conspiracy doesn't mean it's not real. I mean, CIA files prove JFK shot himself.
And on to the next state, New York. Oh no shit! I haven't even read this yet. So
Yeah.
New York. It's one of the first states to decriminalize marijuana back in 1977. However, according to the Marijuana Policy Project, law enforcement agencies have used public view to arrest more people than they probably should.
They use a loophole.
That seems very New York to me. Like the cops using loopholes to screw with people.
Basically, the law is different if you get busted in your own home versus in a public place. And so they were getting pretty fucking loose with what was considered a public place. Like if you're on your porch, it's a public place or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And supposedly de Blasio stopped that, is what this article was saying anyway. But
okay, extremely high arrest rate, the highest in the country in 2013.
Oh yeah.
What is that? 577 out of 100,000. That's 5%, 0.5%.
That's crazy. Yeah, Bill de Blasio basically said we're not going to do that anymore.
All right.
That's why a lot of people hate him.
We're gonna arrest less people. You bastard.
F you.
Next,
Hippie.
Vermont.
Yeah, Vermont's a no-brainer. Come on.
Yeah.
Ben and Jerry's, skiing. Everyone in Vermont's already high. I'm surprised.
Fish food.
Yeah.
Get your fish food.
Fish. Jesus. I mean, the only reason weed's not legal in Vermont yet is because everyone there does too much acid. Like, they thought it was already legal because they've been tripping for like 6 months. For 6 years or whatever.
Minnesota, that makes sense. You gotta warm yourself up. It's freezing there.
Well, also, Minnesota, you might not know this, but me being the music nerd I am, has quite a vibrant hip-hop scene. I don't know, you know Atmosphere probably.
Yeah.
But there's a label called Doomtree out there, and there's a lot of good artists that come out of Doomtree. Idea, I think, is from that area. Prince, obviously, was from Minneapolis. So that makes sense too. Also, I read a thing a while back about Minneapolis being like the gayest city. Like Salt Lake was one year, and I was shocked. But
that's interesting. I mean, all that repression, I guess.
Yeah. So it's anyway. Minnesota and actually Wisconsin and Minnesota both are pretty progressive areas in the Midwest. I've noticed anyway, from what I've seen.
All right. So Connecticut decriminalized marijuana use in 2011.
I mean, Eminem for the record, ruined Connecticut for me. Like, whenever I see Connecticut, I just think of that Ken Kniff guy on his record. He's like, hey.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
You don't listen to Eminem?
I listen to Eminem.
You've never heard those...
I just can't pull a reference out of my ass every half a second.
Well, that's what I'm here for, okay? No, Ken Kniff is the guy from the Eminem song. He called him like, you want to get a hotel room with me? He's like, this is Ken Kniff from Connecticut. I'm going to lick your ass, Eminem.
And Maryland. Adopted medical marijuana and their first dispensary opened June 2015. I didn't know that, man. I
DC,
no idea.
DC is actually decriminalized for recreational. All those politicians.
What? Yeah, right.
Fucking assholes. Pardon my French. There's probably a lot worse things that I should reserve for them. But yeah, DC has recreational weed.
That's awesome.
So politicians like fucking Mitch McConnell can sit in DC and smoke weed. Meanwhile, people in his home state
cannot.
Are going to jail for it. And losing their fucking children and all kinds of fun shit. God bless America.
Rhode Island has the highest usage rate per capita of any state in the union. High five, guys.
I mean, what else would you do if you're in Rhode Island? Come on.
That's true. Actually, I've never been to Rhode Island, but...
I haven't either, but it seems small, so...
Yeah.
Just for that alone, it's gotta suck, right? It's like, oh, you're so small. So small.
You've gotta know everyone.
So small. It's like the size of my hometown.
Maine. Maine has a relatively high rate of marijuana use with an estimated 16 point... So is this just going off of estimated marijuana use?
There's actually a science, like the source article has, there is some science behind it. The way that they rated these is by their history of laws that are like kind of lenient as far as like punishments go, and then who have a history of like looking to decriminalize medical or like that kind of stuff. So
okay.
Most of these states have either like really like almost completely decriminalized it to the point where it's like an infraction, or like, you know, they're already legalizing it for medical and recreational purposes. Or both. Or
maybe, you know, I bet like a lot of these guys have universities which are doing research.
Yeah, I mean...
Which could be a signal.
Maine, like, I mean, I'm just pulling out of my ass all the associations I have to these states, but when I think of Maine, I think of Stephen King. You know, I mean, he's from Maine, and he just sits up there in the woods and writes fucking cool-ass stories, you know? So it would seem that people in Maine should be able to smoke as much marijuana as they'd like. Especially Stephen King.
That made no sense. Delaware.
Why didn't that make sense?
Why is one guy in Maine relevant to everyone in Maine?
Because he's Stephen King, okay? And he's in the woods. What else? It's just much like Rhode Island. Rhode Island's small, but...
I feel like saying Henry David Thoreau
is he from Maine
a pot
too?
smoker. But he's a man. And he lived in the woods, and so therefore he must smoke pot.
Don't forget Johnny Appleseed and Davy Crockett. What about Davy Crockett? He wore that fucked up raccoon shit.
That's right. Head. He's probably a huge stoner.
He was high. He's like,
he's high as hell.
He was so high he put a fucking raccoon on his head. He's like, man, you know what would scare the shit out of these fuckers if I had a dead raccoon on my head. Now I want to see if Henry David Thoreau is from Maine. Because he might be.
I have no idea.
Thank you, Google.
What's the verdict?
Let's see. Concord, Massachusetts. Close.
Hey, that's number one on our list.
That's pretty damn close. I mean, my friends from Maine were all Boston fans because, you know, that was the closest city that wasn't New York that had a team.
When I was in high school, I had a big neck beard. That's when you only grow hair on your neck and you can't grow it on your chin or the sides of your face.
I know what neck beards are, man. I'm part of that scene.
I'm explaining for anyone who might not know.
Sorry.
And so I would get called Henry David Thoreau a lot because he has the ultimate neck beard.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, totally. Yeah, those are like... neck beards are almost like Jedediah's. Like a lot of my buddies up in Utah had them where they would like... It's just like a chin strap where they shave the mustache off. and yeah, like this. We call them the Brigham Young or like the Jedediah beard, you know. Definitely.
They're probably all Linux programmers now.
I wouldn't doubt it. Actually, a lot of them went on missions and are probably, you know, running fucking shoe stores or something now. And that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But, yeah. I don't think their beard really has much to do with that, you know.
Some say that the beard determines the man.
Beard makes the man. What was it? I like Action Bronson. Have you ever heard that guy?
Yeah.
He has a really big beard, but he has this line where he talks about, he's like my facial hair proves that I'm a dominant man who doesn't give a shit, or something like that. I'm paraphrasing because I'm not a rapper, but not yet anyway. Give me time. But not a famous one yet. Okay. But yeah, anyway, the beard, yeah, it's kind of like it. Here's the thing, though, and maybe you're younger than I am, so you can maybe comment more accurately on this. But there's kind of a fashion thing going on with beards these days, and the big thing I see with all my rugged individualist libertarian friends who hunt and like, you know, skin fish and shit that think they're tough. They all are like, oh man, all these effing dudes today with beards can't even change a tire, and it doesn't mean anything anymore, and blah 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 blah. And so I don't know. What do you think about all that? Like, what? Like your generation is a little. You're not that you're that much younger than me, but you know you're probably more of a part of that era than I am. I'm like the crotchety old man.
I've heard Joe Rogan sort of gloss over the topic.
Okay.
UFC.
Yeah,
announcer.
I know who Joe Rogan is. He's awesome. He was friends with Bill Hicks, who is like one of the greatest people of all time.
Great comedian, right?
Yes.
So he sort of glossed over the topic, and then his issue was that there was a disconnect with people and, like, you know, older ways of living, more sort of pure ways of living that we would think of, like hunting, gathering, growing your own food. And it's like we have this culture where we have stuff delivered to our door, and you know we don't know where our food comes from. It's just all wrapped up in a package, and so that's really the issue. Is that some people want to do stuff on their own. You know, they're like a do-it-yourself type, and they sort of associate that with the beard.
Yeah, no,
there's other people who are.
And forgive me because I kind of attacked my friends. Who I was like, yeah, you know, guys who hunt and fish and think they're tough. Not that they all think they're tough, because I'm not a big hunter or fisher. I'm a pussy, you know. But I think that I think that's right. It represents that kind of like more of a simple way of life, because things have gotten so goddamn convenient. It's like on that note too, you brought up something that made me think about something I heard on the radio the other day. They were talking about these like a new burger that was made in a lab, right? Like a test tube burger, right?
Okay.
Like made from beef cells rather than an actual cow. And the guy's like, that's disgusting. Oh my God. Like, would you ever eat that? No way. That's gross. You know? And I'm just like thinking, have you ever been to a slaughterhouse?
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't know if that's that gross. Like, it's like, if you see what happens at a slaughterhouse, like a test tube burger sounds kind of good, you know? I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but
there's something human in us though that's like, you know, I want my meat to be fresh.
Right. It will be fresh, but I get it. But that's the thing though, is it's cloned cells, so it technically it is the same thing. It's just not taken from a live animal, you know. Huh. So it freaks people out because they're like, what the, you know. But I mean,
it's just different.
By the same token, Taco Bell isn't completely meat, you know. It's like there's all kind of, like, I read this thing way back in the day about textured vegetable proteins. It's called TVP, and a ton of the big players use it in their meat, McDonald's and Wendy's and stuff. So I mean, we're already veering in that direction, but I just thought it was funny, you know, like that, you know, to circle back to the whole individualism thing and stuff. You know, it's like we really don't know what's in our food. Like that, people are freaking out. Like these guys have never been to a place where like animals are slaughtered and meat's actually made. You know.
So I think it's that disconnect that's causing an issue.
In a lot of ways, yeah. So anyway, back to the the next item we have here is the
states with medical marijuana see 25% drop in painkiller deaths. That's not like a small percentage. That's 25. That's a quarter.
I mean, that makes so much sense to me too, because people want to get high. Let's face it. People want to fucking alter their mind state, whether it's through alcohol, whether it's through, even if it's through natural ways, going out on a hike and just breathing different air, like traveling or whatever. So that doesn't surprise me at all, because guaranteed a lot of the people taking painkillers are people that they're not doing it because they're in pain.
Yeah. It's because
they want to get loaded.
It could be because you're looking for an altered mindset, or at that point it could just be that you're addicted.
Well, you get to a point where you're addicted, yeah.
You need to keep doing it.
Yeah, that stuff is a lot worse than pot in that sense, where it's like, with pot, you don't like have an undying urge to keep putting more in you. I mean, you do, but it's not like in a fiendish way where you're like, man, I would murder someone to get a hit right now.
It's not like you're addicted to the substance. It's more like you can get addicted to the feeling, which makes you continue doing it, but it's not a chemical need, per se.
Right. It's not a physical dependency like some of those drugs become, because with those drugs what happens is when you don't have them, then when you're not high, then you start realizing how much you hurt,
Yeah.
Well, you feel like you hurt more because you're not, loaded on pain pills.
It also makes sense because it's a painkiller, and that it just totally numbs your body. I don't think you're receiving those pain signals that you should be receiving.
Yeah.
And then with marijuana, it's more like a muscle relaxant, and then it reduces swelling and things like that are all related around pain.
But it's not actually a pain.
But it's not just like a numb.
Mm-hmm. So it can be prescribed for pain, but it treats. I think what you're saying is spot on. It treats the symptoms, not the actual pain itself.
Yeah. Or even if it can't treat the symptoms, like cancer, I'm assuming that cancer causes a lot of swelling, which you need to take down.
Yeah. What the hell is that?
We could just take a pause.
Is that a leaf
and
blower?
cut it out.
You know what? We haven't even called out Head Shop Hub yet. Now that I can hear and smell someone clipping grass.
Now that I'm thinking about grass.
I'm thinking about someone clipping grass.
So, do you even vape, bro? You could. With 10% off at Head Shop Hub as soon as I find out what that discount code is.
Discount code.
We could probably do like CBD10.
Okay.
Yeah.
That works.
We'll put that in for you guys.
The number 10 or spelled out 10?
No, the number 10. So CBD10, you'll get 10% off. We could just make it everything. You get 10% off everything.
Yeah,
that's bank. That's a good deal. Especially since the price is already totally reasonable.
Yeah, and you can get really great paraphernalia without leaving your house. So headshophub.com, check it out. Order a vape, order a grinder, order whatever you want. But I think if you're sitting there, binge watching what's that show they have now about the murderer guy, Making of a Murderer?
Yeah, Making of a Murderer.
Yeah, you're sitting there binge watching Making of a Murderer, and you're like, oh man, I'm out of papers. By the time you get to season 4, it's I don't even know if there are 4 seasons. By the time you get to episode 5, the next day, well into your binge, you could have the papers on your door, provided that you order them before shipping leaves that day. But anyway, I'm not going to get into semantics here. Head Shop Hub is great. You could get dugouts. You could get, they just add Zippos and stuff?
Yeah, Zippos, lighters. You could get a pipe tamper, which comes with a little, it's like a hammerhead. And then it's also got a little, digger tool on it. It's like a Swiss Army knife of pipes. So you can pack in your weed or pop it out when it's all burnt.
Yeah, and if there's a guy mowing the lawn outside your studio, you could go out there and smoke a bowl with him and say, listen, bro, this time of day, let's keep the lawnmower down, okay? Let's play the Quaker gardening game.
Quaker gardening.
We need to get back to our roots where we gardened old school.
With the push mower or just with like a knife? How far are we going?
I'm talking like plow and horse days.
Oh.
Where no mechanics, all right? No gas powered. What the hell? Come on, it's 2016, global warming, you guys. What the hell do you do?
It's 2016. Why are we living like it's the 1600s?
Why do people still have leaf blowers? Like, what the hell? Like, can't you use a rake? Or like a broom or something?
I don't know. When you got like 50 of those lawns,
you know what?
It's your job.
I shouldn't talk shit. Yeah, that's a good point.
Let's see. Oh, we already discussed this. States with medical marijuana see 25% drop in painkillers. God bless them. Because I don't really see bad news about medical marijuana.
Yeah, you don't like... It just makes sense. I think we went off on that tangent about it, but getting back on topic, it's kind of like people are obviously doing painkillers to get loaded. I mean, if you ever listen to like The Weeknd or fucking any like rap artist, they're always talking about popping pills and stuff. So everyone's doing it to get high. So if you do pills to get high and you're really trying to get loaded, eventually you fucking overdose.
Which is what stars like to do. Segue into our next couple of articles about not just the Oscars, but the Academy Awards. Both had gift bags with vape pens in them.
Well, it's the same thing. The Academy Awards and the Oscars.
Oh, no shit.
Oscars are just the awards you get from the Academy. So it's like another way of saying it. And I'm sad that I even know this. I was thinking about it today. I fucking hate award shows. But I actually want to watch this Oscars because of something that I read, a review. They were like, yeah, even though not many people tuned in, it was comforting to see Hollywood have its ass handed to it by Chris Rock for 4 hours or whatever. So I love Chris Rock, and I actually want to watch it just because he hosted it. But other than that, apparently they were. What's the story here with the vapes?
Yeah. So I thought that it was totally separate, but I guess not.
No,
That's
it's the same
confusing.
thing. The Oscars are just what the actual statues are called. So it's like it's kind of like Oscars is like slang for Academy Awards.
All right, so let's see. It was a $232,000 gift bag that required multiple suitcases to deliver.
Multiple suitcases.
So that's a hell of a gift bag.
I mean, wait. So let's picture this here. To deliver, or so like the gift bag comes to your house or your apartment before you go? I would assume like it's not something you get at the door, right?
Yeah.
Just like here's your suitcases full of gifts.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I'm interested in how that works.
I bet you can choose what you get. Like they had the option to also get a vibrator, it looks like. And so if you're not interested in a vibrator, you could turn it down.
I mean, come on, guys. Who doesn't want a vibrator for when you have friends over?
Yeah, that's the $275 arouser for her.
Yeah, you could...
With suction and vibration.
Suction vibrate. Wow.
2 in 1.
Good God.
But
that's a fucking beast.
The vape they got is actually really nice looking. It's from Haze Vaporizers.
So how did this story come about? Did they So these guys just provide this stuff as like a promotion, right? They're just
and it's probably cool if you have, a dildo business and you got to get the words out. Then a great way to do that is make everyone freak out.
Yeah. No, it's free press. So Oscar gift bag. So how do we get our brand in here? How do we get like CDs of our podcast in there?
We don't. They don't want us.
Okay. It's not valuable enough. We need to like make a cream that like,
Maybe if we charge $800 per cast.
Yeah, it's got to be like premium luxe brand, right?
Yeah. So we're gonna start charging you guys $800 a listen, And hopefully
then we'll get it into
we'll get it in
Oscar bags. We'll get our junk into Oscar bags.
we'll get it into Oscar.
Yeah. No, Oscar Bags. That sounds like a gangster's name. Yo, it's Oscar Bags.
Yeah, I'm Oscar Bags.
They called me Oscar Bags because I used to
bag Oscars. It's gonna be Leo.
I used to carry around bags.
It's gonna be Leo when he's old.
Oscar Bags.
He's gonna assume a role, and then he's gonna get hit in the head and just like never realize that he's Leonardo DiCaprio. He'll be Oscar Bags for the rest of his life.
He'll be like Judy Garland. You know? Okay, never mind. Sorry, I'm showing my age there. Judy Garland.
So let's roll on this. Odds of medical marijuana passing in the Utah House. It already did.
Did it pass?
Yeah. This article says about a third, and a third. So I don't know what the hell that means. I didn't actually read it. But I'm assuming that they didn't even think it would pass because it would be split 3 ways.
That is crazy.
But it seems like a guy named Mark Madsen helped pass it through. Who is
from Saratoga Springs. That's actually where my mom lives, kind of.
Oh. We'll go to his house and thank him in a really creepy way.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you want some marijuana? You want to buy some weed?
We'll just drop a pound on his porch.
Thank you. Run away.
We'll wear masks like that movie. What's that Oliver Stone movie? Savages. Have you seen that?
No.
Oh, that's a good one, too. We'll just wear masks like that and go drop a pound of weed off on his porch.
That's a big thank you.
Dude, honestly, we would be shot within 30 seconds in Utah. There's like, their police force is armed to the teeth with a huge like military style budget, and there's nothing for them to go after. So like, if you just like look wrong in the wrong direction in Utah, like you'll have a swarm of police around you.
That's okay. We could hide it. Yes, sir. My penis is this big.
We'll just Ninja Turtle it. Like, we'll come out of the sewers and shit.
So, sponsored by Senator Mark Madsen from Saratoga Springs.
Yeah, there's no sewers in Saratoga Springs.
It came despite opposition from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
What would Jesus do? Oppose marijuana for medical patients? Yeah, sure he would. What the hell's wrong with people?
I can't really say what Jesus would want.
I can.
I've read the Bible.
Because me and him went to school together.
I think I can speak for the greatest religious symbol for a third of the world's population.
Yeah. I mean, that whole thing... He's a vessel for Christ. I don't know.
Who's a vessel for Christ?
Whoever wants to be
Jose?
Really a tool of Christ.
Jose next door?
Tools of Christ.
Jesus? Who's mowing your lawn?
Hey now. Let's not go down that road.
We already went down that road. You started it.
What are you talking about? I was talking about Jesus being... Yeah, who cares?
We'll cut that bit out.
Let's move on.
Post-production.
Well, I mean, we're going to have to cut it down if we want. I think we should try to keep these around 45 minutes anyway, right?
I mean, I listen to like 3-hour-long shows. I don't give a shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
None of these articles are loading, so I guess we could move the fuck on. Tommy
Chong on Reddit.
Yeah, that's awesome because he was with one of the founders of Reddit.
Mm-hmm. Alexis Ohanian.
Yeah, and he was actually so stoned that they just typed up all of his answers for him. So he's sitting there like cuddling up on the couch with the founder of Reddit, just writing out his post for him. It's good for him.
Did voiceover work for a new animated Disney movie
called Zootopia. That's actually going to be a big movie. It's their next big release.
Yeah. Started touring with Cheech again.
What? I didn't read that part.
A new podcast and decided to start filming a new YouTube show.
Oh, so he's busy. He's trying to promote his new cannabis line, Chong's Choice.
Chong's Choice. I love it.
Yeah, I follow him on Instagram. I like his logo. Chong's Choice.
Chong's the man. He's been an advocate for a long time, too.
And,
Just opening the vents.
So, first question on this. Any chance of another Cheech and Chong movie? Answer,
I mean...
when hell unfreezes.
Is that what he said?
Yeah.
There's no point, really. I mean, I'll give him credit for that.
Someone wrote, it's unfrozen right now.
That's so true. That's so true. I mean, come on, like... Everybody retires and comes back now. Ozzy's, like, retired 40 times already.
And then he said, so you're saying there's a chance? Excellent. He said, yeah, there is. I mean, we've been on stage saying it for years. There's going to be another Cheech and Chong movie. My wife does a bit. We're going to call it Grumpy Old Stoners. Grumpy Older Stoners. Grumpy Older Men.
Chong's Choice, yeah. You still haven't seen... Like, have you seen any Cheech and Chong movies?
I mean, yeah, Up in Smoke.
Okay, good. Yeah, see, Cheech and Chong are like, they're a generation above me even. Like, that was like my dad's generation, really. But Up in Smoke is like still, I think, a classic. That movie's just hilarious. There's so many funny things going on in that. Like, not even, like, it's just a cool, like, stoner trip, you know? The rest of their movies are like, you know, they're not terrible, but they're not, I think that one's kind of the pinnacle, in my opinion.
Yeah. Hey, Tommy, can you name the weirdest smoke circle you've been in?
Oh.
And he said, this is kind of weird. I think we did it.
Oh, shit.
Reddit. Oh, Reddit.
That reminds me of, you know the band Cannibal Corpse?
Yeah.
I was reading this interview with them a while back, and they were talking about, like, it was for some, like, Florida paper or something, and the guys, because they're from Florida, and the guy's like, what's, like, the weirdest gig you've ever played? And the guy from Cannibal Corpse is like, man... We were out in L.A. and Cher's son, Elijah Blue Allman, because, you know, she was married to the guy from the Allman Brothers, and they had a kid together, and he's in a band called Dead Z.
Okay.
But he's a big fan, I guess, and so they're like, we played a barbecue at Cher's house, and it was like, they're like, he's like, it was a trip, because we're, like, jamming, and, like, you look up and there's Cher, like, jamming to your
rock it out.
So
I like Cher.
That'd be kind of I that's interesting though. I would think Chong would have some great stories like that. Like, he's been in Hollywood for a long time, where it's like, yeah, I was in a smoke circle with like Bill Maher and like the King of Jordan and, like, you know what I mean, or something.
I think he smoked with Snoop Dogg, and Snoop Dogg outsmoked him pretty heavily.
I believe that. Snoop Dogg's a fucking, like, Chong's an old man. Snoop Dogg's been a fucking, like, G smoker. I don't know though. I would put Snoop Dogg up with, like, reggae stars, you know? Like, my my aunt had this ex-husband who actually was a cool motherfucker, but he told me this story about, he smoked with Peter Tosh, who, I don't know if you know who Peter Tosh is, but he's like, kind of like, in as far as reggae royalty goes, he's like second in line to Bob Marley. Mm-hmm. Because he was in the Wailers for a while, and, like, he wrote some of the songs, the more popular songs for the Wailers, like Stop That Train and stuff like that. And anyway, he was telling me the story, like, he went to, like, a Peter Tosh concert at, like, Park City one time, and, like, afterwards Peter Tosh was just hanging out at this party, and he's like, the story was so good, and I don't want to ruin it because his version was, like, so intense, but he said Peter Tosh had this, like, pipe that was, like, this smooth round rock, like, it was like a smooth round rock, but it was a bomb, like, it was like a bubbler, like, it had water in it.
Okay.
And he said Peter Tosh put this, like, bowl in it that was like probably the size of his thumb, and he's a pretty decent sized dude. Just pushed it down, and he said the dude, like, lit the bowl and took this, like, hit that must have, I mean, he's probably high as fuck, but he's like, it took him like 5 minutes to complete the hit, because he's like, he just breathed in for like 90 seconds straight, just, and then he said he just, like, opened his mouth, and the smoke just, like, kind of, like, slowly rolled out like a dragon or something, you know, for like another minute and a half, and him and his buddy just sat there with their jaws on the floor, like, ah.
I like the sound of that pipe.
Yeah, he made it, the way he described it was really cool. But anyway, that's what I imagine. Like, I imagine Snoop being at that level. You know, it's like Chong's probably kind of off his game a little bit. He's busy, like, you know, hanging at his house. Snoop's out there fucking smoking with Wiz Khalifa and all these fucking dudes. They're like, I'll smoke a pound every day, bro.
That was a great imitation.
That's how Wiz Khalifa is, though. He's like, I smoke an ounce every day, bitch. Yeah. Ride my Segway through the airport.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That was a story. I don't know if you saw a while back. He got like arrested for the TSA, like, because he was riding his own Segway through the LAX. And they're like, you can't do that. And he's like, I don't give a shit, bitch. I'm Wiz Khalifa. And they arrested him.
What was that about? Chief Keef got arrested, and he said just something like "baller as hell."
Oh, that guy, dude. That guy is deep, man. I read a thing a while ago about like him and his crew. They just like murder people in Chicago. Like, it's crazy. That guy is like a real fucking thug ass motherfucker. That Chief Keef.
Oh yeah, I just looked up Chief Keef arrested, and there's a lot of stuff. He was arrested with cocaine in his car. I guess that's the reason why he was originally Chief Keef in police custody following a shooting.
Yeah, so, man, there was this story, and I don't know if it was from Vice, I think it was Vice, but it was basically talking about how, like, Chicago right now is, it might have been a couple years ago, but it was, like, Chicago is so terrible, and, like, what they were saying is, the article was about how they use social media now to fucking, like, start gang wars and shit. And, like, they had this whole thing about this guy who, like, tweeted some shit, and then a couple hours later, these cats found him and shot him in the street and shit. Yeah. It was crazy. I wish I remembered, like, I think it was on Vice or, like,
That's
LA Times
up.
Or something, but...
I'm a bitch. I couldn't do that.
I mean...
I tweet nice things at them. I'd be like...
Yeah.
Hey, Bloods, I like your color red.
That bike is cool.
I mean, I like blue too, Crips, but...
That's a nice gun you got there, pal. Why don't you point it over there? Wow, is that a Glock 9? One of my favorites. That's one of my favorite kinds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good job in your murder last week.
Hope you sing about it in your new song. Yeah, no, that shit was crazy. Like, when I see, I think it was Mac Miller and like some of these white boys doing shit with Chief Keef, I'm like, damn, man, those kids are down. They must be down, or they have a lot of money, because fucking that guy's deep. According to this article too, like, that area is like the most violent, like, in the country by a long shot. It's like South Chicago or... Yeah,
fuck that. I'm in, like, the LA area. I'll go to the beach.
LA's, like, kind lately. That's what I was talking about, is the whole, like... I think most people's mentality now is, like, past that shit. But, you know, in those situations, in places like Chicago where it's all out of control, who knows? I mean, I don't know if you've ever spent much time in Watts or Compton, but it's not the most uplifting place to be.
I like to go to the local parks there.
Yeah. Yeah,
I plant
you look
trees.
like the kind of cat I would see down there playing frisbee golf.
Yeah. It's a beautiful area.
Playing frisbee golf at the parks in Compton. But yeah, I mean, it's that whole thing is, that whole shit is messed up. But that's what, you know, that's what America has created.
This is going downhill. This is...
What are you talking about? I thought that was great.
That just made me feel sad.
No,
I don't want to leave this on a sad note.
No, of course not. On the other hand, things are on the up and up, man. Like, the economy is a lot better. I mean, gas is crazy. I realized the other day, it's LA, and I was paying like $2.50 for gas. Like,
isn't that great? I think they're taxing us less because they taxed us too much in the last year. That's
well. Also, I've read that, like, I mean, as much as people hate on Obama, he's increased, like, his administration has actually increased, like, oil production here a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, they did what they could to work with Republicans. I mean, that's how you create, that's one of the best ways to create jobs, if the Republicans will sign off on, you know, because they're all owned by the oil industry. But Obama's not stupid, you know. I think he did a good job of kind of playing the center. Like, he couldn't be too hard, especially for his first couple of years. He couldn't go too hard fucking left, even though everyone was accusing him of it.
What are people calling him? Twilight Obama? Is that like in his last years or whatever?
Well, I mean, typically, like, this is what's funny about him is the lame duck thing. Like, there's always the lame duck thing where it's like presidents are supposedly like their last couple of years they just don't do anything. They're exhausted and they just fucking hang out and they're like, I'm the president, I'm getting out of here, bye. You know what I mean? But he's been like aggressively like doing stuff, which I think has been good because I was kind of, it's not that I was sour on him. He's done a good job all the way through, but it's kind of like, you know, you feel like he hedged it, he tried to compromise too much for a while, the first part of his presidency, when these guys were never going to work with him no matter what he did, you know? And then the last couple of years, he kind of went like, you know what, I'm just going to punch this through, close Guantanamo, legalize gay marriage. They're talking about, he's got Holder out there talking about decriminalizing pot now federally. And that was one of the stories on Cannabinoid too, actually.
How do we not talk about that? That's a small big deal.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. That's why I didn't mention it earlier, because I wasn't sure if we'd have time, and he's kind of inconsequential because he's not the attorney general anymore.
Yeah.
So, now it's what's her name? Someone else that they're all Loretta Lynch. All the Republicans.
Still, if you can get people like that on your side, it doesn't hurt. It's better than people like us on this side.
Yeah. Definitely.
Then you just get podcasts like this.
Just like, yeah, hey, we did a podcast about it. You're like, oh, you didn't change the law? Well, F you. It's like, well, I didn't go to law school, pal. That's what you're for. That's why people voted you in. Yeah, but that guy, all those people that, like, Obama, my friend, right, he's like super Republican, and he which is interesting because he is half Korean, half Jewish.
That seems like a good combination.
Russian Jewish, yeah. But he's a good guy. But he's like, he was like, dude, what's up with Obama? Like, how come he won't legalize weed and stuff, or how come he's not like more easy on weed? And I'm like, dude, look at how he can't. That's what he like. The demon that the Republicans are all painting him as is like, oh, he's the gangster president. He's gonna come in and legalize weed and let black guys sleep with your daughters and. You know, it's like it's going to be...
Because if you guys didn't know, if you're a redneck father, it is completely illegal.
Yeah, for black people to sleep with your daughter. Yeah, that's just like the worst possible thing. If you're a Trump voter, that's like your worst nightmare is your daughter sleeping with a black person. Or your son, for that matter. That's kind of a... But anyway, male or female, by the way. But that whole scenario is just it's bunk. So we should probably get ready to close out because I'm starting to just ramble off in weird directions now, which I do anyway, but it gets old after 45 minutes.
All right, well, this was an all right podcast.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to edit out some of the dead space, but maybe some of the lawnmower sounds.
Fix it in post-production.
Yeah,
that's my motto.
I'm trying to make my life difficult. All right, yeah. Oh wait, before we go, Head Shop Hub.
Oh yeah, Head Shop Hub.
We may have to like splice in a couple more of those too. We didn't really talk a lot about that.
I feel like people don't give a shit, and they're happy hearing it once, but we'll make them hear it again. Head Shop Hub.
On our way out, we're going to remind you that Head Shop Hub is the best place to go for all your head shop needs, be they grinders, pipes, vapes, papers, dugouts, you name it. Head Shop Hub has it. Get the stuff delivered right to your door. Like I said before, you might be watching Making of a Murderer. You might want to not have to peel your butt out of the chair and run down to Joe's local spot, only to find they close at 8, and you're like, what? It's only 10 and the head shop's closed? Oh.
What is this?
Online.
Soviet Russia?
Open 24 hours and it'll be at your house within a couple days. So
this is America.
Yeah, they're working on making it even quicker. Eventually, maybe they'll have drones and shit, and they can just drop it down your chimney 5 minutes after you order it. But for now, they have one of the fastest turnaround times on the web for head shop items, and they're good people. So they're kind of good people. A couple of them are good people. Let's put it that way.
What the fuck does that mean? All right, guys, we're gonna close out this podcast.
That's not what I meant to say about our sponsors. We love all of them. They're incredible.
Thanks for listening.
Headshophub.com.
We're out.
Later.